Welcome to Tekedia Daily. I'm Ndubuisi, Ekekwe. Our conversation today will focus on hybrid commerce in Africa. Essentially, as we have seen what is happening in the e-commerce sector, we are increasingly companies are moving into the offline space as they continue to look for strategies to win market share as well as reduce their marginal cost on distribution. I do believe that time has come for us to move that conversation of e-commerce to e-commerce in Africa so that companies can understand that it is not just the E anymore, that you have to turn it to H for you to have any opportunity of actually running a business where you can drive towards profitability. So the key players in the market are Amazon, Alibaba, of course you have Walmart and other major retailers around the world. Just today, we are reading that Alibaba has acquired 36% of Sun Art. You can call this company the China's Walmart. This is one of the largest retail stores in China. So Alibaba is buying 36% of it. And when that happens, it tells you something that Alibaba wants an offline strategy. It wants a totally different business that is not necessarily going to be based largely on market space, which it has pioneered in China and where most of its fortune has come. And for years, Alibaba has been running supermarkets now. And that was even before Amazon bought into Whole Foods. I reported a few days ago that Amazon has now Amazon stores across most cities in America. I visited one. I saw a future where that store could actually become a coffee shop, could become a tea shop where people can stay while they make orders and buy things they want. So these companies are increasingly moving into the mixed space, into the offline space, because they see that they have to deal with certain elements for them to remain very profitable and for them to continue to win market share. So Macy's, Walmart, Gap, Target, there is this consensus that the future is hedge. You need to figure out how to integrate that e-commerce and that physical commerce to have a hybrid commerce. And there is a reason for that. The money is still offline. In the grocery market, we are looking at a total market of nearly $630 billion in US, whereas what is happening in the online space is less than $15 billion. So why will you be wasting all your time pursuing $15 billion when the opportunity is actually running into $630 billion? So, and what is driving the to hedge is largely the marginal cost. Of course, let's leave the cost of goods sold because whether you are selling it online or offline, you have to pay for it. And let's also leave the transaction cost. The K is distribution cost. When the person buys, when the shopper buys, how do you distribute it? How do you send it? So that is where the marginal cost is resident. And that is also what drives your profitability and your scalability. If your marginal cost tends towards zero, it means that you can scale fast. It means you can serve more localities, more regions easily. And that is really where the opportunity is, because when you increase your scale, that is also when you can make more money. That is when profitability comes. But if the marginal cost continues to go high, what happens here is this. You cannot scale. And if you do not scale e-commerce, that means that you can't easily attain profitability. So by linking this digital and physical space, they are trying to cut down the distribution cost. And by cutting down the distribution cost, the opportunity becomes that they can now manage their marginal cost. And when they manage their marginal cost, beautiful things happen. And for Africa, I do believe that there is an opportunity for us that we have to also emulate, mimic what these companies are doing. We have to form strategic partnerships with supermarkets across for the players in this industry. And they also have to buy stakes into these supermarkets, or where necessary, they have to set up pickup locations where they can bring in more physical elements for them to reduce their marginal cost. They have to make investment in offline retail a key part of their strategy, because an online-only commerce is going to be loss-making. I've never seen anyone that really made money running an electronic commerce only. It doesn't happen. Amazon may look like a very formidable company, but Amazon is not necessarily making a lot of money in the e-commerce. What drives it is that e-commerce has become an engine. It keeps it winning market share, and then translating that into what it is very good in doing in the cloud computing business, which continue to generate a lot of its profitability. So, but as we are thinking of the Western world and the Asian world, Africa is even in a very, very different case. Our online retail market, is even less than 1% of the total retail market. There are communities and villages that are not going to be online in the next 10 years, in a decade. So we are going to take more than a decade to get to 2%. Companies like Kalahari have seen all these things, and that was why they exited, because the growth trajectory doesn't even make it easy for you. There are open markets in so many parts of eastern part of the country every 4 days. And there is the fragmented markets. There are markets, the supermarket, to the mega, to the security man, to the traffic light. So all these things are going to compete for the attention of the retailers. And that is the reason why, when you do not have that strategy offline, it's going to make it impossible for you to actually pursue where the big pile of the cake is. And that is still remaining offline. And I want to ask you today, why do you waste your time pursuing 1% of something when the 99% of something is still available? But if you combine your digital strategy into the meat-based strategy, there is a possibility that you can build a virtuoso business that will generate massive returns, not just for yourself, but for your stakeholders. Good luck. You're listening to Tekedia Daily.